Hello, and welcome to 5 Minute Math. Today, for our number talk, we are dividing fractions. So we've got 2/3 divided by 1/2. I want to visualize this first, and I'll show you how we could use inverse operations to do this fairly quickly. So 2/3, right? If we want to think about this, we wanted to do long division, it's going to end up like this, which doesn't really help us, but sometimes it's easier for us to think about this, right, as our dividend. So we want to make sure that we visualize that first, that 2/3, then we're going to cut it into halves. Okay, so I'm going to use this as a fraction of a set. So I'm going to draw 3 rectangles like this. All right, so there we go. Those are my thirds. And then I'm going to, shade in 2 of those. All right, so there's my 2/3 right there. 2 out of 3, right? Fractions of a set. Now, let me change colors here because I want to show you how do we divide that by half. Well, what I want to do is I want to take my 2 that I've already selected and I want to cut it in half, right? Divide it into 2 equal parts. So it's going to look like this. It's going to look like this. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of do a little cross hatching on this so we can see these are our pieces. So I did those 2/3, right? So how many pieces do I have now? Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But how many total pieces do I have? Well, it's the same that I started out with, right? This is going to start out as the same as it ends. 1, 2, 3. So it's going to end up as an improper fraction, 4/3. Now, another way to visualize that is to realize that reciprocal dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. And so using a reciprocal, very helpful. So what do I mean when I say that? Well, when I multiply by a fraction, that's the same as multiplying, in this case, by 2. How do I know that that's the reciprocal? Well, the reciprocal is any number you can multiply by another number, typically a fraction, to get it back to 1. So if I wanted to multiply something by 1/2 to get it back to 1, I just take the 1/2 and I flip it. It's 2 over 1. You flip it upside down, you multiply it, look what you get. 2 over 2, which equals 1. So the reciprocal of 1/2 is just 2 over 1, or 1/2 flipped upside down. Now, 2 over 1, we normally don't write a fraction like that. We can just drop the 1 and say it's 2. So look what I did. I changed the sign. I used the inverse operation, division and multiplication, okay? And then I used the reciprocal. I flipped that upside down. So let's think about that. 2/3 divided by 1/2 can be reimagined as 2/3 multiplied by 2 over 1, which is really 2. But when we multiply fractions, it's good to have a denominator in both. And look what we get. Straight across, that same answer, 4/3.